One of the most mysterious and captivating topics of our time, Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena, or UAPs. You might know them better as UFOs. So what are UAPs? What do they look like? Should we be concerned? In this video, we explore what UAPs are, why they have captured the world's attention, and what they might mean for us, for humanity. UAPs refer to any airborne space and maritime objects or phenomenon that cannot be immediately identified. They can be anything from terrestrial human technology to natural atmospheric phenomena, or something else entirely. The phenomena has been called different names over the years. The term flying saucer was first coined in 1947 by the media following pilot Kenneth Arnold's sighting of 9 crescent-shaped objects near Mount Rainier. He described their movement as like saucers skipping on water, and reporters used this to create the flying saucer name, even though Arnold himself did not say that the objects were saucer-shaped. In the 1950s, the term unidentified flying object, or UFO, was introduced by the US Air Force to replace flying saucer, but eventually became synonymous with alien spacecraft in popular culture. 50 years later, in the late 2000s, the US government began using the term Unidentified Aerial Phenomena, or UAP, in internal investigations to differentiate sightings from the extraterrestrial associations of the term UFO. In August 2020, the US Department of Defense officially established the Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon Task Force, or UAPTF, to detect, analyze, and catalog UAPs that could potentially pose a threat to US national security. This marked a public and formal shift in terminology. In June 2021, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence released a preliminary assessment that exclusively used the term UAP in its official report to Congress. And finally, in July 2022, the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, or AARO, was established, and the term UAP was expanded to mean Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena, to include transmedium objects, those that move between air, water, and space.
Humanity is not the only intelligence in the universe.
Humanity is not the only intelligent species.
We are absolutely not alone.
Non-human intelligence exists.
UAPs are real, they're here, and they're not human. I spent 25 years as a senior official with the CIA.
I worked on highly classified UAP programs.
28 years as an astrophysicist.
I served as the 4th Director of National Intelligence.
Director of Aviation Security in the National Security Council.
A 1-star admiral after 32 years of service.
People that come forward with this, I feel like they've taken their life in their own hands.
UAP is not a modern-day phenomenon. In fact, they have been reported for centuries. From strange lights in the skies documented in ancient texts to mysterious sightings during World War II. The history of UAPs is as old as civilization itself. The most dominant hypotheses for the nature of UAPs fall into 2 main categories: the prosaic or conventional explanations, and the more speculative, unconventional ones. Within the scientific community and the official government studies, the prevailing view is that most UAP reports can be explained by misinterpretation of known objects or phenomena, such as natural atmospheric conditions, misidentified human-made technology, sensor glitches or miscalibrations, hoaxes, and delusions. Among the general public and within the field of ufology, a range of more speculative hypotheses exist. The most culturally and historically dominant of these is the extraterrestrial hypothesis, which proposes that UAPs are physical spacecrafts occupied by intelligent non-human entities, or in another word, aliens from outer space. This idea has been the most popular explanation in popular culture for decades. Now, we'll explore a little bit more on the hypothesis later, but first let's take a quick look into the UAP or UFO timeline and notable incidents for the last 100 years or so.
(1896 to 1897), major mystery airship craze swept across the United States, with widespread reports of strange lights and craft. These sightings often described the objects as cigar-shaped, metallic, and equipped with movable wings and bright lights. 1904, sighting of bright, circular, unidentified objects was reported near the USS Supply, a resupply ship of the U.S. Navy, by 3 crew members. 1909, the New Zealand UFO wave. In the winter of 1909, hundreds of New Zealanders reported seeing airships of varying shapes and sizes moving about in the sky. 1917, the miracle of the sun occurred in Fatima, Portugal, where thousands witnessed unusual solar activity, which some interpret as a mass UFO sighting. 1927, Nicholas Roerich, a famous Russian painter, reported an observation of a large, shiny, oval-shaped object moving at high speed over northeastern Tibet, which has since been interpreted by some as a UFO. 1933, a UFO allegedly crashed near Magenta, Italy, and was recovered by the Italian military under orders from Benito Mussolini himself. The craft was supposedly taken for study, with the goal of unlocking its secrets. 1942, February 24th to 25, U.S. anti-aircraft guns fired for hours at unidentified objects in the sky over Los Angeles, triggered by wartime jitters after Pearl Harbor. 1942, first Foo Fighters were reported by RAF pilots in France, described as bright, glowing orbs that appeared to fly alongside or chase their aircraft. 1943, more Foo Fighters were seen by military pilots over Germany and Japan. 1944, sightings of Foo Fighters were made public for the first time. 1946, mysterious ghost rockets are reported in the skies over Scandinavian countries. June 24, 1947, pilot Kenneth Arnold reported seeing 9 crescent-shaped objects flying at incredible speeds near Mount Rainier, Washington. Arnold described them as moving like a saucer skipping on water, which led the media to coin the term flying saucer. July 1947, the U.S. Army recovers debris from a crashed object near Roswell, New Mexico. Initially announced as a flying disc or saucer, the Army later claimed it was a weather balloon. 1948, Project Sign was established by the U.S. Air Force to collect and analyze reports of unidentified flying objects, UFOs, to determine if they posed a threat to national security. Dr. J. Allen Hynek, director of Ohio State University's Macmillan Observatory, was appointed scientific advisor. January 7, 1948, Captain Thomas F. Mantell, a Kentucky Air National Guard pilot, died when the P-51 Mustang fighter plane he was piloting crashed near Franklin, Kentucky, United States, after being sent in pursuit of an unidentified flying object. 1949, mysterious green fireballs are seen in the skies of New Mexico. February 1949. Project Sign was followed by Project Grudge after a conclusion was reached that UFO reports could be exploited by a foreign power to induce panic in the population and were therefore a military issue in the post-World War II, Cold War climate. 11th May 1950. The McMinnville UFO photographs were taken in Oregon by Paul and Evelyn Trent. These are some of the most famous UFO photographs ever taken and remain unexplained. 1952. Project Grudge was replaced by Project Blue Book, which became the longest running of the U.S. Air Force's official investigations into UFOs. January 1952. The Aerial Phenomenon Research Organization, or APRO, a civilian UFO research group, was started by Jim and Coral Lorenzen. July 1952. A series of UFO sightings over Washington, D.C. during 2 weekends generated massive public and media attention. Air traffic controllers and pilots tracked numerous unidentified objects on radar, and witnesses described seeing glowing orbs and streaks of light over sensitive locations like the White House and Capitol Building. January 1953. The Central Intelligence Agency sponsors the Robertson Panel, which concluded that UFOs did not represent an extraterrestrial threat, but the public and military focus on them was a problem because it could clog military air defense channels and be exploited by adversaries. The panel recommended a public relations campaign to decrease public interest and suggested covertly monitoring civilian UFO groups to avoid overloading air defense communication channels. 23 November 1953. The disappearance of a U.S. Air Force F-89 jet that was attempting to intercept an unidentified object over Lake Superior, Michigan. Autumn 1954. The French humanoid wave, a period of widespread unexplained sightings of strange aerial phenomena in France, including flying saucers and humanoid figures. 1954. The Unarius Academy of Science was established by Ernest and Ruth Norman in Los Angeles, California. This group anticipates the arrival of a fleet of 33 spaceships that will use advanced technology to solve Earth's social and economic problems. August 1955. The Kelly-Hopkinsville encounter, a widely reported incident in Kelly and Hopkinsville, Kentucky, where a family claimed to have been visited by small alien-like creatures emerging from a landed UFO. 1955. The Aetherius Society was founded by George King in the UK. It is considered one of the oldest and most enduring UFO religions. Members believe King was a primary terrestrial mental channel for ascended masters from other planets, like Venus and Mars, who aimed to help humanity avoid self-destruction. October 1956. The National Investigations Committee on Aerial Phenomena, or NICAP, was founded by inventor Thomas Townsend Brown. Its purpose is to conduct scientific research into UFOs and to pressure the U.S. government to publicly release all information related to the phenomenon. November 1957. Multiple reports of large, bright, glowing, egg-shaped objects disabling cars around Levelland, Texas, in one of the first cases linked to electromagnetic interference. January 1958. A disc-shaped UFO was photographed near Trinidad Island, off the coast of Brazil, by crew members of a Brazilian Navy ship. June 1959. Anglican priest Father William Booth Gill and 37 missionaries witnessing multiple unidentified flying objects, described as luminous disc-like shapes, hovering and landing near their mission in Boyani, Papua New Guinea. 1961. The Betty and Barney Hill incident, the widely reported claim that they were abducted by aliens in a UFO over New Hampshire on September 19, 1961, making it the first documented alien abduction case in the U.S., involving memories of medical exams, a star map shown to Betty, and subsequent PTSD. 24th April 1964. The Socorro UFO incident, where police officer Lonnie Zamora reported seeing an egg-shaped craft land in an arroyo, with two humanoid figures standing beside it near Socorro, New Mexico. 9th December 1965. The Kecksburg UFO incident, where a mysterious object crashed near Kecksburg, Pennsylvania. Eyewitnesses reported seeing a fiery object, and many described the downed craft as being acorn-shaped with strange hieroglyphics. 3rd September 1965. The Exeter UFO incident occurred in Kensington, New Hampshire, where Norman Muscarello reported being chased by a large silent object with flashing lights while hitchhiking, and who later returned to the site with police officers, who also reportedly saw the object. July 1965. The Valençol, France UFO incident, where a French farmer, Maurice Masse, claimed to have seen a metallic, oval-shaped object land in his lavender field, from which two small humanoid beings emerged. March 1966. A series of mysterious aerial phenomena reported in the towns of Ann Arbor, Dexter, and Hillsdale, Michigan. Dozens of witnesses, including police officers and college students, described seeing strange lights and flying objects maneuvering in unusual ways over swamps and fields. 1966. The UMO affair began in Madrid, Spain, with the reception of detailed letters and documents sent to UFO enthusiasts. The letters claimed to be from an alien race on the hypothetical planet UMO, describing their civilization, language, and their secret arrival on Earth in 1950. 1966. Airmen reported that 10 nuclear missiles became inoperative due to guidance and control malfunctions, while a large, flashing object hovered overhead at Minot Air Force Base, North Dakota. 6th April 1966. Mass sighting of a flying object by over 200 students and teachers of Westall High School in Clayton, South Victoria, Australia. Witnesses reported seeing a large, gray, disc-shaped object hovering over the school before descending into a nearby bushland. 4th October 1967. The Shag Harbor incident in Canada involved a UFO crash into the water off the coast of Nova Scotia. The Canadian government investigated the event, but no explanation was found. 1967. The U.S. Air Force commissions the University of Colorado study of UFOs, also informally known as the Condon Committee, led by physicist Dr. Edward Condon. September 1967. The first widely circulated speculation that extraterrestrial beings were associated with the cattle or animal mutilation phenomenon when a horse was found dead with its brain, heart, and lungs cleanly removed in Alamosa, Colorado. The ranch owner's mother claimed to have seen a UFO the night before the discovery, and other local residents, including a judge and sheriff's deputies, reported seeing unusual orange lights in the sky around the same time. 16th March 1967. U.S. Air Force Captain Robert Salas and other personnel reported a glowing, red, oval-shaped object hovering over Malmstrom Air Force Base, Montana. Simultaneously, all 10 nuclear missiles in the flight went into a no-go, or unlaunchable condition. 19th July 1968. U.S. House Committee on Science and Aeronautics Symposium is held to publicly address the scientific understanding of UFOs. The hearing primarily focused on the scientific analysis of UFO data and the methodologies used by the Condon Committee. January 1969. The Condon Committee concluded in its final report that there was no evidence of extraterrestrial life and that further scientific study of UFOs was not warranted. 31st May 1969. The Midwest UFO Network was founded by Alan Utke and Walter Andrus to investigate UFOs and other aerial phenomena after the Condon Report led to the dissatisfaction of many UFO researchers with existing groups. It later changed its name to the Mutual UFO Network, or MUFON. 17th December 1969. Project Blue Book shuts down, concluding that no evidence was found that UFO sightings posed a threat to national security or were extraterrestrial in origin. 1973. The Center for UFO Studies, or CUFOS, was founded by Dr. J. Allen Hynek to promote serious scientific interest in the UFO phenomenon and serve as an archive for reports, documents, and publications on the subject. 11th October, 1973. The Pascagoula, Mississippi incident where two shipyard workers, Charles Hickson and Calvin Parker, claimed they were abducted by alien beings while fishing on the banks of the Pascagoula River. October 1974. The Avis family from Hornchurch, England, reported encountering a strange, pale blue light, a mysterious green mist, and experiencing nearly 3 hours of missing time while driving. 1974. Heaven's Gate was founded by Marshall Applewhite and Bonnie Nettles. Their central belief was that followers could shed their human bodies to become immortal extraterrestrial beings by ascending to a higher level of existence. 1974. Raelism was founded by Claude Vorilhon, who took the name Rael in France. The group believes humans were created by cloning and genetic engineering by a species of extraterrestrials called the Elohim. 23rd May 1975. Charles Moody, a U.S. Air Force sergeant, claimed to have been abducted by aliens near Alamogordo, New Mexico. Moody reported seeing a bright metallic object in the sky, which emitted a powerful light that paralyzed him. 5th November 1975. Logger Travis Walton, who disappeared after he and his crew encountered a UFO in the Apache Sitgreaves National Forests near Snowflake, Arizona. Walton was missing for 5 days, after which he reappeared disoriented, claiming to have been held on the spacecraft and subjected to medical examinations by alien beings. 19th September 1976. The Tehran jet UFO incident, where Iranian F-4 fighter jets were scrambled to intercept a bright, fast-moving aerial object over Tehran, Iran. As the jets approached, both aircraft experienced malfunctions with their instruments, communications, and weapons systems, which would restore once they retreated. 15th August 1977. Radio telescopes in Delaware, Ohio detects the WOW signal. The signal appeared to come from the direction of the constellation Sagittarius and bore expected hallmarks of extraterrestrial origin. 1977. The Colares incident, also known as Operation Prato, was a series of strange events on the island of Colares, Brazil, involving alleged UFO sightings and attacks that caused injuries to residents. November 1977. Staff Sergeant Mario Woods and his partner Michael Johnson investigated unusual lights in the sky, leading them to a massive Walmart-sized, spherical craft during a routine missile site operation at Ellsworth Air Force Base in South Dakota. 1977. Wave of UFO and alien encounters that occurred around the Welsh coastal town of Broadhaven, Pembrokeshire. This cluster of incidents, the largest mass sighting in UK history, involved approximately 450 reported sightings over the course of a year, earning the area the nickname the Broad Haven Triangle. 21st October 1978. The disappearance of Australian pilot Frederick Valentich, who vanished while on a training flight over the Bass Strait, between Australia and Tasmania. His final radio transmissions to air traffic control reported being followed by a strange metallic object with a green light that he insisted was not an aircraft, before all contact was lost. December 1980. The Rendlesham Forest UFO Incident, a series of unexplained sightings of lights and a possible craft that occurred near RAF Woodbridge, an Air Force base in Suffolk, England. Multiple airmen reported seeing strange lights, a craft landing, and encountering radiation and unusual indentations in the ground. 29th of December 1980. Betty Cash, Vicki Landrum, and Vicki's grandson Colby encounters a large, diamond-shaped UFO in Texas. The three witnesses reported the object emitted intense heat and caused them to suffer health problems consistent with radiation poisoning. 1981. Crop circles gained significant media attention for the first time, marking the beginning of the crop circle craze and intense public speculation about their origins. While these patterns had been reported earlier, it was in the early 1980s that they began to be frequently linked in the press to UFO sightings. 1982. The Hudson Valley UFO sightings began on New Year's Eve, December 31st, 1982, when a retired police officer in Kent, New York, witnessed a large, silent, V-shaped craft with colored lights. This initiated a wave of over 5,000 reports from 1982 to 1986, often called the Westchester Boomerang. 1984. Majestic 12 document surfaces. The organization is claimed to be the code name of an alleged secret committee of scientists, military leaders, and government officials, formed in 1947 by an executive order by U.S. President Harry S. Truman to facilitate recovery and investigation of alien spacecraft. 17th November 1986. The Japan Airlines Flight 1628 incident where a JAL cargo flight, en route from Paris to Tokyo, encountered UFOs while flying over Alaska. Captain Kenju Terauchi reported seeing multiple large glowing objects, one of which was described as being up to 4 times the size of their Boeing 747, maneuvering around the aircraft for nearly 50 minutes. The objects were also detected on military radar. 1987. The Gulf Breeze Sentinel, a local newspaper in Gulf Breeze, Florida, published photos taken by Ed Walters, who claimed to have seen a glowing disc. Other residents also reported sightings, and the paper received numerous reports of pink-lit objects and helicopters chasing a UFO. 1989. The Belgian UFO wave were a series of thousands of UFO sightings in Belgium from late 1989 to 1990, primarily of large, silent, triangular objects with lights. November 1989. Bob Lazar first told his story to the public through a series of television interviews with investigative reporter George Knapp, claiming to have worked at a secret site known as S4, located south of the main Area 51 base in Nevada, where he was allegedly involved in reverse engineering extraterrestrial spacecraft. 1991. A large metallic gray object was reportedly seen by Soviet radar near the Mangishlak Peninsula and by pilots of 2 MiG-29s. It was described as Zeppelin-shaped, approximately 600 meters long and 100 meters wide. 11th July, 1991. The Mexico City UFO sighting occurred during a solar eclipse and was captured on video by multiple witnesses. The footage showed a metallic disc hovering in the sky. September 1991. Doug Bauer and Dave Chorley admitted to creating over 200 crop circles in the UK since the late 1970s as a prank. Their confession revealed the origin of much of the modern phenomenon, though it didn't end the creation of crop circles, which have since evolved into more complex designs, often made by others. June 1992. The MIT Abduction Conference was held at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology to discuss the phenomenon of alleged alien abductions. Chaired by Professor David E. Pritchard, an MIT physicist, and Dr. John Mack, a Harvard psychiatrist, the conference brought together scientists and researchers to examine abduction reports from various perspectives, including medical, physical, and psychological. The proceedings were later published in the book, Alien Discussions. February 1994. At the request of a member of Congress, Representative Stephen Schiff of New Mexico, the U.S. Government Accountability Office initiated an investigation into the 1947 Roswell incident to determine if any government agency had records on the alleged crash and recovery of an extraterrestrial vehicle. June 1994. alleged close encounter and abduction of a Chinese timber worker named Meng Jiaoguo in Heilongjiang Province, China. Meng and others investigated a shining object on Phoenix Mountain, and Meng later reported being hit in the forehead with a beam of light, blacking out, and waking up at home with no memory of how he got there. Days later, he claimed to have been abducted from his home and taken to a spacecraft. 16th September 1994. The aerial school incident in Zimbabwe involved over 60 school children who claimed to have seen a UFO land and encountered small beings near their school. 1995. The Air Force released its initial comprehensive document, the Roswell Report, Fact versus Fiction in the New Mexico Desert, which concluded the debris was from a classified high-altitude balloon project, Project Mogul. 20th of January, 1996. A series of events in Varginha, Brazil, where residents reported seeing one or more strange creatures and a UFO. Key claims include a UFO crash, the capture of extraterrestrial beings by the Brazilian military, and the mysterious death of a military police officer after encountering the creature. 13th March 1997. The Phoenix Lights incident, where a series of widely witnessed, unidentified aerial phenomena seen over Arizona and Nevada. Thousands of people reported seeing two distinct events: a V-shaped or boomerang formation of lights, and a series of stationary glowing orbs. 26th March 1997. The bodies of 39 members of the Heaven's Gate cult, led by Marshall Applewhite, were discovered in a mass suicide at a rented mansion in Rancho Santa Fe, California. The event was the largest mass suicide in U.S. history and was timed to coincide with the closest approach of the Hale-Bopp comet, which they believe an alien spacecraft was waiting to receive their consciousness to be transferred to new, immortal extraterrestrial bodies. July 1999. UFOs and Defense. What Should We Prepare For? Was a comprehensive study published by a group of retired French military officers, scientists, and aerospace experts under the Committee for In-Depth Studies, or COMEDA. The report analyzed decades of UFO encounters, including radar data and pilot testimonies, and concluded that a small percentage of well-documented cases could not be explained by conventional means. 9th May 2001. Dr. Stephen Greer's Disclosure Project press event at the National Press Club in Washington, D.C., a landmark moment in UFO UAP disclosure. He presented testimony from military, intelligence, and corporate whistleblowers, claiming knowledge of classified UAP-related programs and technology. Witnesses alleged that the U.S. government and private contractors had retrieved extraterrestrial craft and were engaged in secret reverse engineering projects. October 2003. A large red square-shaped UFO was reportedly seen hovering over Vandenberg Air Force Base in Santa Barbara, California. According to witnesses, the object was about the size of a football field, approached from the ocean, remained for 45 seconds, and then darted off over the mountains. November 2004. The USS Nimitz-Tic-Tac UFO incident, a series of encounters between U.S. Navy pilots and unidentified flying objects off the coast of Southern California. 7th November 2006. Multiple witnesses, including airport workers, reported seeing a silent, disc-shaped object hovering above Gate C-17 at the O'Hare International Airport in Chicago, Illinois, before ascending rapidly into the clouds. 2007. The Advanced Aerospace Weapons Systems Applications Program, or AAWSAP, was initiated by U.S. Senator Harry Reid to study UAPs. The program was managed by the U.S. Defense Intelligence Agency and contracted to Bigelow Aerospace Advanced Space Studies. January 2008. A series of mass sightings of a large, silent, unidentified object in the sky over Stephenville, Texas, and surrounding towns, reported by hundreds of credible witnesses, including pilots, police officers, and business owners. 7th July 2010. UFO sighting caused Xiaoshan Airport in Hangzhou, China, to temporarily close, disrupting 18 flights. The object was described as a glowing light with a tail. 2012. Funding for AAWSAP was not renewed due to skepticism regarding the value of the deliverables. The official contract ended. However, a small cadre of officials continued the mission informally under the ATIP, or Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program moniker. This effort was not a funded program of record, but a continuation of the investigation by DoD personnel who believed the data warranted further attention. 2014. Pilots aboard the USS Theodore Roosevelt reported encounters with unknown objects, which led to changes in how the U.S. Navy tracks and reports unexplained aerial phenomena. November 2014. The Chilean Air Force UFO encounter, involved a Navy helicopter crew who recorded a UFO emitting a gas or liquid trail. The Chilean government later released the footage for public scrutiny. 11th October 2017. To the Stars Academy of Arts Science is founded by Tom DeLonge, Harold Puthoff, and Jim Semivan. It aims to bridge the gap between pop culture and scientific research through multimedia content, research into UAPs, and technological development in aerospace. December 2017. Luis Elizondo resigned from his position at the Pentagon, went public about UAPs when he revealed his role in the ATIP in an exclusive interview with the New York Times. That same day, the New York Times published a groundbreaking article titled "Glowing Auras and Black Money: The Pentagon's Mysterious UFO Program," which exposed ATIP's existence and included U.S. military footage of UAPs. September 2019. The U.S. Navy officially confirmed the authenticity of 3 videos depicting UAPs, commonly known as FLIR 1, Gimbal, and Go Fast. August 2020. In response to public outcry and safety concerns raised by Navy aviators who were encountering UAPs in training ranges, the U.S. Department of Defense established the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force, or UAPTF. June 2021. The UAPTF and Office of the Director of National Intelligence releases a preliminary UAP report on 144 UAP incidents, mostly from military sources, stating that only one had a clear explanation. 17th May 2022. The House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence held a public hearing on UAPs. This marked the U.S. Congress's first public hearing on the topic in over 50 years. 20th July 2022. The All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, or AARO, was established with a mandate that is significantly broader than its predecessors. It was tasked with investigating anomalies in all domains, air, space, and maritime. June 2023. David Grush, a former U.S. Air Force intelligence officer, came forward with allegations that the U.S. government was operating a crash retrieval and reverse engineering program for non-human spacecraft. 26th of July, 2023. The House Oversight and Accountability Subcommittee on National Security, the Border, and Foreign Affairs held a hearing titled Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena: Implications on National Security, Public Safety, and Government Transparency. 13th November 2024. The U.S. House Subcommittee on Cybersecurity, Information Technology, and Government Innovation held a hearing titled Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena: Exposing the Truth. 9th September 2025. The House Oversight Committee's Task Force on the Declassification of Federal Secrets convened a hearing titled Restoring Public Trust Through UAP Transparency and Whistleblower Protection.
The estimated number of UAP reports worldwide since 1947 is believed to be in the hundreds of thousands. Some estimates suggest that over 150,000 reports have been filed globally, with the majority coming from the United States. However, due to the nature of UAP sightings and reporting, the true number may be much higher. Many incidents go unreported or are never documented, while others remain classified or unexplained. The reports range from civilian sightings to military encounters, with government agencies such as the U.S. Department of Defense and various international bodies having investigated a significant portion of them. Estimates suggest that about 5 to 10% of UAP reports worldwide are categorized as unexplained by authorities or investigators. These cases remain unidentified after thorough investigation, meaning they cannot be easily attributed to known natural or man-made phenomena such as weather, aircraft, or atmospheric conditions. There are several theories or hypotheses to explain the unexplained UAP sightings, ranging from scientific to speculative. Some of the most prominent theories include the extraterrestrial hypothesis, or ETH. This is perhaps the most popular and widely discussed theory, suggesting that UAPs are physical spacecraft piloted by intelligent non-human beings from other planets or galaxies. Proponents of this theory argue that the advanced technology required for interstellar travel might explain the unusual movements and capabilities of UAPs, which exhibit flight characteristics beyond current human technology, such as instantaneous acceleration or the ability to hover and move with no visible means of propulsion. The ultra-terrestrial hypothesis, or UTH. Ultra-terrestrials are a concept for non-human intelligences that originate from Earth or other dimensions, rather than from other planets. Coined by ufologist John Keel, the term is used to explain phenomena like UAPs, supernatural events, and myths as the activity of advanced non-human entities, possibly from another dimension or a hidden Earth-based civilization that have been present throughout human history. Supporters of this theory argue that UAPs may be able to cross over from different dimensions, explaining their ability to appear and disappear, defying the known laws of physics. The extraterrestrial model, or ETM, or the future human hypothesis, proposes that UAPs and alien encounters are not from outer space, but are instead advanced future humans traveling back in time to study their past. This is developed by anthropologist Dr. Michael P. Masters. This theory suggests that documented abductee experiences can be understood as interactions with future descendants. This idea is often linked with the notion of advanced future technology capable of manipulating time or space. The crypto-terrestrial hypothesis, or CTH. In the year 2000s, author McTonis coined the term crypto-terrestrial to describe theoretical hidden indigenous humanoids, suggesting that phenomena like UAPs could be from intelligent beings concealed on or near Earth, rather than from outer space. This idea proposes that these advanced beings could be living underground, on the far side of the moon, or even disguised as humans among us. The breakaway civilization hypothesis, or BCH. This is a concept popularized by UFO historian Richard Dolan. It posits the existence of a highly advanced, secretive human culture that operates entirely separate from mainstream global society. This elite group, potentially tracing its roots to post-World War II developments involving suppressed or reverse-engineered technology, allegedly possesses its own autonomous economic and industrial base and may even have a secret space program. Under this hypothesis, some UAP sightings are not alien craft, but rather advanced human-made technology that has been kept hidden from the public and governments outside of a specific compartmentalized black world. So what does all this mean for us? The UAP phenomenon intersects with existentialism in profound ways, as it challenges our understanding of reality, our place in the universe, and the nature of human existence. One, questioning human significance. Existentialism emphasizes personal meaning in a seemingly indifferent universe. If UAPs represent non-human intelligence, it forces us to confront our cosmic insignificance or rethink our uniqueness. Are we alone, or are we just one of many civilizations? How does this change our self-perception? 2. The search for truth in an uncertain world. Existentialists like Jean-Paul Sartre and Albert Camus emphasize the struggle of confronting an absurd and unknowable reality. UAPs represent a mystery that defies easy answers. Should we accept ignorance, or should we push forward in our search for truth, even if the answers are unsettling? 3. Free will versus determinism. If UAPs indicate superior intelligence or advanced technology, what does that mean for human agency? Are we in control of our destiny, or are we at the mercy of forces beyond our comprehension? Existentialist thought demands that we confront this potential power imbalance and decide how to live meaningfully despite it. 4. Facing the other and the fear of the unknown. Existentialism often deals with tension between the self and the other, whether that other is another person, society, or the universe itself. The idea of encountering non-human intelligence brings this tension to an extreme. Do we embrace the unknown, or do we fear it? 5. Redefining purpose and meaning. Many existentialist thinkers argue that meaning is self-created. If humanity learns we are not alone, it could shatter traditional religious and philosophical worldviews. This forces us to re-examine what it means to be human and how we define our purpose outside of previous dogmas. 6. Coping with the absurd. Albert Camus' idea of the absurd, the conflict between our desire for meaning and an indifferent universe, fits perfectly with UAPs. If undeniable proof of alien life emerged tomorrow, how would society react? Would we adapt and create new meaning, or fall into existential despair? 7. Existential responsibility. If UAPs represent technology far beyond our own, we must decide how to respond as a species. Do we seek contact? Do we prepare defensively? Existentialism urges individuals and societies to take responsibility for their choices and actions in the face of uncertainty. Final thoughts. UAP at their core challenge our assumptions about reality, meaning, and existence. Whether they turn out to be extraterrestrial, interdimensional, or just misunderstood natural phenomena, the way we choose to engage with the mystery says more about humanity than the mystery itself. Are you interested in UAPs primarily from a philosophical perspective? Or are you also intrigued by the scientific and political aspects? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time.